Dealership Tycoon has a very clever feature. A custom mileometer which shows you how far you've driven in each of your cars. CDT doesn't have one, but if it did, it would show you that I've been in this thing a lot as of recently. I've been using it to grind the season race. Because it's overpowered. The trophy truck is one of the best, possibly the best car on the season race. Certainly is for me. I set a 43.6 on it yesterday. Interestingly enough, it's just a generic trophy truck. Just doesn't even have a name. I do wish there was less nameless cars in CDT. Just calling it trophy truck is a bit... it doesn't have much of an identity. So, let's see. I've already discovered it's good on the season race. Really good. But let's see how good it is in different places. And hopefully find its feet. Because it certainly hasn't exactly been given a lovely, simple christening. Or a baptism of fire. Well, one of the earliest things you'll notice is that it's got very, very long gears. 3 of them. Which take it up to a top speed of 204 miles an hour. The second thing you'll notice is how unforgiving the suspension is. It's rock hard. Seriously. Trophy trucks are stunt trucks, so they're supposed to go off massive jumps and do barrel rolls and leap through fire and things. But they're also supposed to be able to land softly and be reused, so that the driver inside doesn't end up in hospital. But with this, if I sent this up a massive ramp through a ring of fire and came back down, I'd probably end up breaking my spine. Oh, and yes, because of how stupidly rock hard the suspension is, it also means that the car flips relatively easily. I mean, I've managed to flip it on the season race, and not just driving too far up the cliff face on one of the late turns. Sometimes it's just a case of the chicane. Hold on, I'll go and drive to the chicane. It's the chicane on the long straight round here, where you have to duck around the entrance to the race centre. And there's basically a big drop-off, because you go over a dune. And I just find that you have to go sharp left, then right, at speed, because you're doing about 180, and it just flips. It's too unstable, the suspension is all wrong. That's a thing to fix in long-term reviews. Don't get this thing in the wrong gear. Acceleration is questionable. It's not the best. First gear is pretty good. Second gear is also not too bad. Third gear is where things start to go wrong. Well, that was a nice jump. It's a shame. I'm not sure why this thing is so good at season race. Probably, maybe, because it can grip on the sand. Or maybe it's good at cornering. Let's find that out. Look at this. This is where it excels. Slightly... Okay, my phone is possessed. Slightly understeery. Just a hint. You can squash that out, however, by lifting. I just don't particularly like lifting in the middle of the corner. Because one too many times have I lifted in the middle of the corner, well, and actually braked, and it sort of spun the car. But if you actually drive this thing how it's supposed to be driven, which is quite different to most cars, you can have some fun with it. I mean, the steering's not very intuitive, but I'll tell you what, it is good. It's good but boring. So, I don't know. It's a trade-off. Compromise. And I don't really like compromises, but I suppose you just gotta make do. I mean, at least it's actually a good cornering car, right? One of the things I am discovering, however, is because it's an off-road car, but not a rally car, it means it drives very differently to a rally car. It's not intended to slide. It's actually quite grippy, as evidenced when you try and slide it. So, I'm going to resort to... Why the hell is it going backwards? I'm going to try and resort to using spiked tyres. And then it sort of... well, it gets slightly better. Still not good enough, but it could be worse. Damn, you never ever expected it to be so good on Season Race, would you, with the way I'm talking about it? In fact, judging from the way I'm talking about it, you'd expect me not to like this thing at all. And you're damn right, I don't. It's one of those rare cars, I think, that's only good on the race it's introduced with. So, for example, an S3 car only being good on the mountain race. Can't think of one off the top of my head, but I didn't have the season pass back then, so I'm not one to talk. So naturally, we're on the circuit race, not the S11 race. Let's see how good this thing is. Shit, is the answer. I can't steer properly. You know the Astra VXRs and the Vectra VXRs? The really, really understeery ones? This is worse. Honestly, the Astra VXR probably handles like a Lotus Elise compared to this. This is the most absolutely utter dog shit handling car I've ever driven, apart from the drag cars. And as a result, it's put in the same time as the Stratos, which is much easier to get than this. Oh, and the Raps 1500 trophies on the season pass. Yeah, pass is one thing I will do. I don't want to hate this car, but after the experience on the road, I do. So, what I've done instead is taken it to the season race. And now, this is where it feels good. So, in short, if you've got a trophy truck, and you want to use it, don't. Unless it's on the S11 race. And on that bombshell, thank you for watching. Maybe, just maybe, the Fiesta I'm reviewing tomorrow will be actually good, but in the meantime, I hopefully will be releasing the drag racing video. So, stay tuned for that.